They wondered why humans are never targeted. Then they found out HFY. He had been working for the Council as an analyst for several years, reviewing hundreds of war reports from different planets and systems. It was boring work most of the time, but today, something felt different. He leaned closer, squinting at the reports. "Look at this," he said quietly to no one in particular. A human officer, Lucas Hill, was standing nearby. Lucas raised an eyebrow and came over. "What is it, Kevin?" Kevin pointed at a cluster of battle reports. "See these conflicts, dozens of wars across the outer systems. Humans are always near the conflict zones, colonies, trade stations, research posts, and yet they are never attacked first. Not once, not ever." Lucas frowned. He had noticed humans being careful, but he had not thought about it like that. "Maybe it is luck," he said. Kevin shook his head. "Luck doesn't explain it. The aliens do not ignore other species. They strike first, strike hard always. But humans are always spared, until someone decides to test them." A woman, Elena Brooks, approached them. She was a human officer in the Council, assigned to monitor interspecies relations. "Kevin, are you suggesting humans are untouchable?" she asked with a soft laugh. "I'm just saying it's strange," Kevin replied. He tapped on the hollow screen, bringing up more reports. "Look at this system. 5 alien fleets engaged in a war. Human colonies are right in the middle. Not a single human ship was attacked, not even a warning shot. And yet the aliens are ruthless. They destroy other colonies in minutes. Why not humans?" Elena crossed her arms. "Humans are careful. They do not provoke anyone. They trade quietly, send aid, and retreat when necessary. Maybe that is why." Kevin leaned back. "But it is not just that. Humans are capable fighters. They have technology comparable to any empire. Yet they remain unnoticed until necessary. It's like the galaxy ignores them, almost like the galaxy itself fears them." Lucas whistled softly. "Or maybe they are just patient. Humans always strike at the right time." The three of them watched the reports in silence. On the hollow screen, alien fleets clashed with laser fire. Missiles streaked across space and planets shook from bombardments. Humans were always there, just on the edge, helping refugees, running supplies, observing, never striking first, never openly fighting. Kevin frowned. "I need to understand this. I need to see what happens if someone actually attacks humans first." Elena shook her head. "That is dangerous thinking, Kevin. Humans are not untouchable by accident. If you provoke them, you could start a war the galaxy is not ready for." Lucas laughed lightly. "Then maybe someone should test it, see if humans really are untouchable." Kevin and Elena gave him sharp looks. Lucas raised his hands. "I'm just saying it is a pattern. We have been watching it for years. No one has ever tried to break it intentionally." Kevin's eyes brightened. "Then maybe it is time. We need to see the truth. The galaxy deserves to know why humans are never targeted." Elena's expression hardened. "Or maybe some truths are better left unknown. Humans are unpredictable. They might retaliate in ways we cannot imagine." Kevin ignored her warning. He began pulling up more reports, comparing fleet sizes, casualties, and battle outcomes. Every time humans were nearby, they remained untouched. Sometimes humans even helped alien civilians escape the battle zones. Sometimes they provided food, water, and medical aid. Yet when aliens attacked other species, they showed no mercy. Lucas leaned closer to the screen. "It's like humans are invisible. They are there, they exist, but the galaxy acts as if they don't matter until they decide it is time." Kevin nodded. "Exactly. They never announce their strength. They never boast. They do not demand attention. Yet somehow they survive everything." Elena sighed. "Humans are patient. They learn from everything, prepare for everything, and act only when necessary. Most species act first, think later. Humans are different." Kevin tapped on the hollow screen again. "Look at this. A human colony on a planet near a war zone. Aliens attacked a neighboring planet. Human colony, untouched, their fleet, non-existent, or so it seems. Yet when disaster strikes, humans show up in force. They respond with speed and precision that even the largest empires cannot match. Lucas shook his head in disbelief. So you're saying the galaxy ignores humans because humans are secretly dangerous? Kevin shrugged. I'm saying we don't know. Maybe it is danger, maybe it is fear, maybe it is respect. Humans are different, always different. The observation deck suddenly grew quiet. Alien delegates passed by, arguing loudly in languages that echoed across the hall. Kevin, Lucas, and Alina watched them with interest. Some delegates openly mocked humans, calling them weak, insignificant, or primitive. Some joked that humans would never survive a real war. They don't know, Kevin muttered. They really don't know, Alina frowned. And if they ever find out, Kevin's gaze hardened, then the galaxy will see humans as they are, and it might be too late for anyone else. As they spoke, the hollow screen shifted to a new report. A small human trade station on the edge of a contested system was shown. The aliens nearby were preparing an assault. No human fleet was visible. The analysts watching the report laughed. They won't even notice it until it is too late, one said. Kevin studied the screen. Maybe this is the test we need. Someone will attack humans first and we will see what happens. Lucas smirked. Then we better watch closely. I have a feeling humans are not as weak as everyone thinks. Alina shook her head. We are walking into dangerous territory. Humans are patient, but they do not forgive easily. Kevin nodded. I know, but the galaxy deserves the truth. Why humans are never targeted, why they always survive, why no empire dares touch them without consequence. For hours, the three of them watched reports, histories, and logs. Every time humans appeared, there was a pattern. They were never first. They were never reckless. They were always prepared. Humans quietly helped, traded, and observed, always learning, always waiting. Humans are strange, Lucas said finally. They live among the galaxy, but they don't seem to belong. Not like us, not like any empire. Kevin nodded. They are different, and I think one day the galaxy will understand why. Alina looked at them both. Or maybe one day it will regret ever finding out. As the observation deck lights dimmed, the three watched the stars outside. Humans were out there, scattered across systems, unnoticed, untested, and unseen. And yet, somewhere deep in the council reports, Kevin knew the truth was waiting. One day, someone would attack humans, and the galaxy would finally learn why humans were never targeted. And that day, Kevin thought quietly, would change everything. The small human trade station floated quietly at the edge of the Zoran system. Its lights glowed softly against the black of space, and the hum of machinery echoed through its corridors. Civilians moved about their daily tasks, merchants counted credits, and engineers maintained the station's systems. Everything seemed calm, too calm. Far away in the dark of space, a fleet approached. Krath, a rising alien warlord, watched through his command viewport. His eyes were sharp, his jaw tight. These humans have colonies in the middle of war zones, he said to his advisors. They do nothing, they appear weak. We strike this station, they will fall in minutes. His advisors nodded eagerly. They had never fought humans before. Many laughed at the thought of attacking a station with what they believed were minimal defenses. On the trade station, John Carter, a former human soldier now working as station security, moved quietly through the corridors. He had been observing the outer systems for weeks. He noticed subtle movements in alien fleets, unusual signals and patterns that did not match regular trade traffic. John stopped by a communication console and tapped a few commands. Something is coming, he muttered, and it won't be friendly. He moved to the observation deck. Through the windows, he could see the alien fleet forming, weapons glowing red, engines burning bright. Dozens of ships, far larger and more powerful than anything the station could handle alone. John did not panic. Humans were trained for this. They had survived worse. He sent an encrypted signal into space. Only a few human command centers would notice it. This is a test, he thought, and humans are ready. Back in the alien fleet, Krath gave the order, "Open fire, destroy the station." Lasers streaked across space, hitting the outer hull of the station. Alarms blared, lights flashed red. Civilians screamed and ran for safety. John moved quickly, guiding people toward safe zones. "Stay calm, follow me, you will survive," he shouted. Alien missiles streaked past, impacting on the station. Explosions shook the corridors. Metal twisted and sparks flew. The attackers laughed, confident in their victory. "They cannot resist," one said, but John had already anticipated this. The station's defenses activated in secret. Small automated turrets, hidden sensors, and decoy drones moved into position. The aliens noticed nothing at first. The station appeared weak. Human civilians evacuated calmly, carrying supplies, helping the injured, showing no fear. Krath frowned. "Why is it so quiet? Why are they not panicking?" His advisors shrugged. "They are weak, Krath. It is a trick, perhaps. They will surrender soon." John moved to the central control room. He tapped on a panel and activated a concealed communication relay. Signals shot out to other human colonies and fleets. What the aliens did not realize was that this small station was connected to a network of hidden human ships. Within minutes, what appeared to be an ordinary civilian fleet began to change. Cargo ships, transport vessels, and small exploration ships revealed hidden weaponry. Shields activated, engines surged, and human pilots took control. The alien fleet, confident in victory, noticed too late. Alina Brooks and Lucas Hill watched through a distant monitoring station. Kevin Morris was beside them, eyes wide. "They are responding," Kevin whispered, "and faster than anyone could imagine." Human ships moved with precision, surrounding the attacking fleet. Drones jammed enemy communications. Missiles intercepted alien projectiles. Boarding vessels launched silently, moving toward key ships in the enemy formation. Krath cursed. "How is this possible? They are civilians. They cannot do this." John smiled grimly as he piloted a boarding pod toward Krath's command ship. He had trained for years for this moment, and now it had come. He and a small team of elite humans prepared to board the largest enemy vessel. Inside the alien command ship, alarms blared. Alien soldiers ran in panic, trying to respond. Their weapons were ineffective against human boarding teams who moved with speed, skill, and coordination that no alien army had expected. "These humans fight like demons," one officer shouted. "They are stronger than we believed." John and his team secured the bridge quickly. Krath, seeing the boarding team, activated defensive systems, but it was too late. Humans had already breached key points, disabling shields and communications. Krath realized his mistake too late. Humans were not weak. Humans were hidden strength, patient, and deadly when provoked. Back at the station, civilians continued evacuation procedures. Medics helped the wounded. Engineers reinforced critical systems. Despite the attack, there was no panic. Humans were calm, precise, and prepared. Their actions were methodical, as if every step had been planned long before the alien fleet arrived. Kevin Morris could not believe his eyes. "So this is why humans are never targeted," he said quietly. "Because they are always ready, always prepared. They respond once and they end the fight." Alina nodded, her face serious. "And they do not need to show strength until necessary. That is why the galaxy does not see them as a threat." Lucas shook his head. "But Krath thought they were weak. He will regret it." John and his team captured Krath alive and secured critical intelligence from the command ship. Krath could not believe the humans had overwhelmed his fleet with what appeared to be a simple trade station and a handful of ships. He realized the truth. Humans were not weak, and they never revealed their true strength until it was absolutely needed. The alien fleet, leaderless and disoriented, began to retreat. Human ships did not give chase aggressively. Instead, they allowed the aliens to leave, showing that humans were precise, not vengeful. Their goal was survival and defense, not needless destruction. John transmitted the message back to human command centers. We have secured the station. Enemy fleet neutralized. Civilians safe. Krath captured. Human network remains hidden. Kevin, watching the battle reports stream in, understood the lesson. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long, he said. They are quiet, patient, and always ready. Attacking them first is a mistake no one survives to repeat. Elena looked at the reports. And now the galaxy will know why humans are never targeted. The first attack has revealed their secret. Lucas smiled faintly. They are not lucky. They are calculated. They survive because they plan, they learn, and they strike only when necessary. The galaxy has been blind to this for centuries. On the station, John helped the last group of civilians board evacuation shuttles. Engineers repaired minor damages. Medics treated injuries. The station was safe again, and life continued as if nothing had happened. Yet in space, the alien fleet would carry the story of human strength. Krath sat in the brig, furious and humiliated. I underestimated them, he growled. I thought they were weak. I thought we could destroy them in minutes. Humans are monsters hidden in plain sight. John stood outside the brig, watching him. We are humans, he said simply. We survive, we protect, we act when necessary. That is all you need to know. The galaxy, meanwhile, began to notice. Other alien observers transmitted messages back to their empires. Whispers spread. Humans are not weak. Humans cannot be ignored. Humans respond once, and they end wars before anyone realizes it. Kevin, Elena, and Lucas watched the messages with a mix of awe and fear. The galaxy had just learned a lesson the humans had known all along. Humans were not untouchable because of luck. Humans were untouchable because they were always prepared, patient, and deadly when provoked. The small trade station, once a quiet and unassuming place, had changed the balance of power in its sector. Humans had revealed their true nature to the galaxy, not through boast or threat, but through calm, precise action that left their enemies defeated and the galaxy in awe. And somewhere in the council chambers, Kevin Morris made a note. Humans are never targeted because humans survive. Not by luck, not by chance, by preparation, patience, and strength hidden in plain sight. The first mistake by an alien empire had shown the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were never weak. And now the galaxy would have to remember it. The galaxy had barely begun to process what had happened at the small human trade station. Alien empires whispered among themselves, sharing reports of the attack and the surprising human response. The word spread quickly. Humans were not weak. Humans could fight back with speed and precision no empire had ever seen. Kevin Morris sat in the observation room of the Galactic Council headquarters. Hollow screens floated around him, showing alien fleets, star systems, and scattered human colonies. He had been watching the aftermath of John Carter's defense of the trade station, and he could not stop thinking about what it meant. They responded faster than anyone could imagine, Kevin said quietly to Elena Brooks, who sat beside him. And they didn't just defend themselves. They disabled an entire fleet, captured the commander, and secured the station without excessive damage. No one has ever done that before. Elena nodded. Humans are not reckless. They only strike when they must. They plan, they coordinate, and they act with precision. That is why the galaxy has never targeted them before. No one could predict their response, and no one wants to test it again. Lucas Hill leaned against the observation window, arms crossed. It's one thing to survive. It's another to do it silently. Humans never boast. They never announce their strength. Yet when they act, it is final. Kevin's eyes followed a report of a distant system. Another human colony had quietly sent aid to a planet under siege. Alien fleets had been bombing cities, expecting no resistance. Within hours, humans arrived in hidden ships, evacuating civilians, repairing damages, and quietly disabling enemy systems. The aliens had not even realized the humans were present until it was too late. "Look at this," Kevin said, pointing at the hollow screen. "No one knows they are coming. No one can predict where they will strike. Humans are everywhere and nowhere at the same time," Alina sighed. "And yet they remain unnoticed until necessary. They are patient, calculating, and careful. Most species act first and think later. Humans act only when they must, and they always end the fight quickly." Lucas shook his head. "So the galaxy has been blind for centuries. We thought humans were weak, unimportant, and easy to ignore. But they were always watching, learning, and preparing." Far from the council chambers, John Carter oversaw the rebuilding of the small trade station. Civilians moved about, carrying supplies and helping with repairs. Medics treated injuries, engineers fixed damaged systems, and children went about their routines. The humans worked with calm and efficiency, even after the attack. "How long until the aliens realize what we did?" asked one of John's team members, a pilot named Claire Bennett. John shook his head. "They already know. What they don't understand is that we are not done. We never show all our strength at once. They will learn slowly, and it will be too late." He sent another set of encrypted signals to human command centers in other systems. Fleets that had appeared civilian, unarmed, or engaged in trade suddenly shifted. Engines glowed bright, weapons activated, and human ships moved with precision toward points of conflict across multiple systems. Alien observers across the galaxy were stunned. Fleets that were thought to be cargo vessels, explorers, or colony ships suddenly revealed hidden strength. Communications were jammed, systems were disabled, and alien armies found themselves outmaneuvered without warning. "Humans fight silently," Kevin said, studying the reports. "They do not announce their arrival. They strike when the time is right, and they always achieve their goal." Alina nodded. "And that is why the galaxy has never targeted them before. No empire wants to risk it. Humans do not bluff. They do not negotiate with fear. They respond once, and it ends conflicts quickly and decisively." In the distant Zoran system, Krath sat in his brig, humiliated and furious. "How is it possible?" he growled. "They are just humans, just one station. Yet they destroyed my fleet, captured my soldiers, and left me alive to see it. Why didn't they kill me? Why didn't they destroy everything?" John Carter watched him quietly. "We are humans," he said simply. "We do not destroy unless necessary. We survive, we protect, and we act when it is required. You attacked first. You lost because of it. That is all you need to know." Krath scowled. "The galaxy will hear about this. Humans will not escape consequences." John shook his head. "You already feel the consequences. Your fleet is crippled, your soldiers are captured or dead, and your systems are disabled. We did not need to destroy you completely. One strike was enough to show our strength." Back at the council, Kevin, Alina, and Lucas watched reports of other systems. Humans had quietly moved in, disabling rogue fleets, securing trade routes, and evacuating civilians. The galaxy's largest empires were unprepared. Fleets were retreating, negotiations failing, and alien leaders panicking. "This is bigger than one station," Kevin said. "Humans are everywhere. Every time there is a conflict, humans are present in some form. They are quietly helping, observing, and preparing. No one sees it until it is too late." Alina's expression was serious. "And now the galaxy knows. Humans are not to be underestimated. Any attack, any provocation could lead to consequences no empire can survive." Lucas shook his head. "So humans survive because they are patient, precise, and deadly. They act once and end wars. No one attacks them first because no one wants to risk it." Kevin smiled faintly. "And that is why they have always been unnoticed. The galaxy underestimates humans because humans do not boast. They do not threaten. They simply prepare, and they respond when necessary." Across multiple human colonies, coordination continued. Fleets moved silently, hidden systems activated, and humans communicated in secure channels that no alien fleet could intercept. They were everywhere, yet invisible, moving with calm efficiency. In one sector, a human reconnaissance ship observed a fleet of alien ships preparing for an offensive. The human captain, Sarah Ellis, sent a quiet message to command. They are moving, unaware of what waits. Prepare for minimal engagement. We only respond if necessary. The alien fleet assumed humans were unarmed, unprepared, and weak. They moved into position confidently, ready to attack trade routes and colonies. Without warning, human ships activated weapons systems and disabled the enemy fleet's communications. Drones moved silently, disabling critical engines. Boarding vessels quietly neutralized command ships. Within minutes, the fleet was immobilized and the humans had not even fired a single heavy salvo. Back at the council, Kevin watched in awe. They respond once and everything changes. That is why the galaxy never targets humans first. No one wants to see what happens if they do. Alina nodded. And yet humans remain calm. They do not boast about their power. They do not threaten anyone unnecessarily. They protect, they survive, and they act when necessary. That is why the galaxy respects them without realizing it. Lucas shook his head. So humans have been underestimated for centuries. The galaxy has ignored them not because they are weak, but because humans choose when to act. One strike, one response, and entire fleets are neutralized. Civilizations crumble without understanding why. Kevin took a deep breath. And now the secret is out. Humans are everywhere, hidden in plain sight. No one attacks them first because attacking them is certain to fail. They respond silently, and the galaxy learns a lesson too late. In the outer systems, humans continued to move quietly. Trade stations operated as normal. Fleets appeared as civilian transports. Colonies seemed peaceful. Yet under the surface, humans were ready. They had learned from every conflict, every battle, and every encounter. They were patient, silent, and prepared. John Carter moved through the corridors of another station, checking systems and coordinating fleet movements. Civilians worked calmly alongside him. Humans survive, he said quietly. Not by luck, not by chance, by preparation, patience, and action when necessary. That is why we are never targeted. And across the galaxy, alien observers, warlords, and fleets began to whisper a new truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not to be tested. Humans responded once, and when they did, no enemy could survive. Kevin Morris recorded the final reports, understanding the lesson. Humans do not need to fight constantly. Humans do not need to boast. Humans survive and protect quietly until the time comes to act. One strike is enough, and the galaxy never forgets it. As the stars outside the observation deck glimmered, Kevin realized the full truth. Humans are never targeted because humans do not need to be. Their strength is hidden, their patience unmatched, and their response final. The galaxy had learned it the hard way, and there would be no turning back. Humans had revealed their quiet power, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The galaxy had been talking about humans nonstop. Alien fleets that had once ignored human colonies were now cautious. Diplomats whispered warnings to one another. Commanders double-checked reports, fearing what might happen if humans were provoked again. Kevin Morris watched the hollow screens from the council observation room. Star systems lit up with activity as human fleets quietly moved into position across multiple sectors. He leaned back in his chair, stunned by the efficiency. "They are everywhere," he said softly. "Always watching, always ready." This is why the galaxy never targets humans first. Alina Brooks nodded. They respond only when necessary. They do not attack without reason, but when they do, it is decisive. They end conflicts quickly, efficiently, and with precision no other species can match. Lucas Hill leaned forward, resting his chin on his hand. So it is not just skill or technology, it is strategy, patience, timing. Humans wait until the moment is right and then they strike. One action, one response, and the result is total. Far away, Krath sat in a secure holding cell on the reconstructed trade station. He had been captured during the previous attack, and his fleet was scattered or destroyed. He glared at John Carter, the human who had led the boarding team. "I do not understand," Krath growled. "How can humans be so strong and yet act so calmly? One station, one fleet, and my forces were defeated. Why? How?" John sat across from him, calm and steady. "We are humans," he said simply. "We survive, we protect, we act only when necessary. Strength alone is useless if it is wasted. We choose our battles and we end them before anyone realizes what has happened." Krath scowled. "But you are so patient. You do not boast, you do not threaten. Why does the galaxy let you survive? Why are humans never attacked first?" John leaned back. "Because no one wants to find out what happens if we are provoked. Humans do not start fights unnecessarily, but if someone attacks us, we respond once and it ends the conflict. One strike is all it takes to show our power. The galaxy has learned that the hard way." Krath's eyes widened. "So humans survive by patience and calculation." John nodded. "And by preparation. We observe, we learn, we act when necessary. Attacking us first is a mistake no empire survives." Far across the galaxy, other alien fleets were receiving reports of human activity. A fleet commander named Zalin Grith watched helplessly as his ships were quietly disabled by human forces. Systems shut down, engines failed, communications jammed. Humans appeared everywhere, striking without warning, yet without unnecessary destruction. "They are ghosts," Zalin muttered. "They are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. How do they do this?" His second-in-command shook his head. "Humans are not just soldiers. They are strategy, patience, and efficiency combined. No one can predict where or when they will act. Attacking them first, it is suicide." In the council chambers, Kevin recorded reports from multiple systems. "Humans respond once," he said quietly. "And when they do, it ends wars. That is why no one attacks them first. It is not luck. It is preparation, patience, and quiet power hidden in plain sight." Alina nodded. "They have done this for centuries, quietly, patiently, teaching the galaxy without trying. And the galaxy has ignored it. Until now." Lucas shook his head. "So humans survive because the galaxy underestimates them. And when the galaxy finally realizes the truth, it is too late to fight back." John Carter moved through the corridors of the trade station, overseeing the return of civilians to their homes. Engineers repaired systems, medics treated the wounded, and children returned to school. The attack had left its mark, but humans rebuilt quietly and efficiently. They did not boast about their strength. They simply prepared for the next challenge. He received a secure message from Alina Brooks. "John, the Council wants a full report. They want the galaxy to understand why humans are never targeted." John typed a quick response. "We do not need to boast. The galaxy will learn in its own way. Patience is part of our strength. One strike is enough. They already understand." Across the galaxy, alien leaders debated what had happened. Warlords who had once laughed at humans now whispered warnings. No fleet wanted to be the next to test human patience. Diplomats sent messages of peace and cooperation, hoping to avoid provoking humans. The story of the small trade station and John Carter's fleet had spread faster than any empire could control. Krath sat in his cell, fuming. "I attacked first," he said bitterly. "I thought humans were weak. I thought it would be easy. Yet I am defeated, humiliated. My empire, my fleet." John looked at him calmly. "You learned your lesson. Humans survive because we do not fight unless necessary. We act once, and the conflict ends. Attacking us first is a mistake no one survives to repeat." Kevin Morris watched the hollow screens, seeing human fleets quietly move to support other colonies under threat. Systems that had appeared unarmed suddenly activated defenses. Alien fleets withdrew without full understanding of what had happened. Humans had responded once, silently, and changed the balance of power in the sector. Alina turned to him. This is why humans are never targeted. They respond once, decisively, efficiently. The galaxy cannot risk attacking them first. It is too dangerous. One action and everything changes. Lucas shook his head. Humans are patient, prepared, and precise. They do not boast or threaten unnecessarily, yet when they act, it is final. That is the lesson the galaxy is learning now. In the reconstructed trade station, John moved to a communications console. He sent messages to hidden human fleets, coordinating the quiet defense and movement of civilians across multiple systems. Humans acted like shadows, appearing only where necessary, striking only when required, and vanishing before the enemy understood what had happened. They are patient, quiet, and unstoppable, John said to his team. We do not need to prove our strength constantly. We survive, we protect, and we respond when it matters most. That is all anyone needs to know. Far across the galaxy, alien fleets reported failures. Communications jammed, ships disabled, strategies foiled. Humans had acted, and the galaxy understood one simple truth. Humans respond once decisively and efficiently. One strike was all it took to change outcomes, and no empire wanted to test it again. Kevin Morris made his final notes. Humans are never targeted because attacking them first is certain to fail. They do not fight constantly, do not boast, do not threaten. They act only when necessary. One strike, one response, and the galaxy learns the truth. Humans survive because they are patient, precise, and prepared, and the galaxy has learned it the hard way. Alina nodded. Humans are quiet in strength. They never reveal their full power unnecessarily. That is why no empire attacks them first. It is too dangerous. One response is all it takes to end wars. Lucas smiled faintly. The galaxy underestimates humans because humans wait. Humans survive because they plan, learn, and act when necessary. One strike, one response, and the outcome is final. No one tests humans twice. John Carter stood by the observation window of the trade station. Outside, human fleets quietly moved to support colonies, defend trade routes, and secure systems without drawing attention. Humans were everywhere, yet invisible, patient, precise, and deadly when needed. The galaxy had learned the lesson, and no one would forget it. Krath remained in his cell, fuming, understanding at last. Humans were not weak, and their strength was not random. It was hidden, deliberate, and deadly. Attacking humans first was a mistake no empire survived to repeat. Humans acted once, and the galaxy understood the truth. Kevin, Alina, and Lucas watched the reports in silence. Humans were patient. Humans were prepared. Humans acted only when necessary. One response was enough to show the galaxy why humans were never targeted. And now, the galaxy would never underestimate them again. Humans were quiet, careful, and precise. They survived because they acted with patience, responded decisively, and revealed their strength only when necessary. One strike, one response, and the galaxy had learned the lesson of a lifetime. The galaxy had changed. Whispers of human strength filled star systems. Fleets that had once moved confidently now slowed, cautious. Empires debated and argued, but all understood one truth. Humans were not to be tested. One strike, one response, and the results were final. John Carter walked through the corridors of a human command station, checking reports from multiple systems. Civilians moved quietly, repairing stations, transporting supplies, and caring for the wounded. Everything ran smoothly, as if nothing had happened. Yet humans had acted decisively across the galaxy, changing the course of several conflicts in a single day. They still do not know our full strength, John said to Claire Bennett, his pilot. And that is how we survive. Patience, preparation, precision. One action, one response, and it is enough, Claire nodded. The galaxy will remember this for a long time. Fleets are retreating, Empires are reconsidering their plans. Humans did this quietly, but the message is clear. We are not to be tested. Far away, alien warlords gathered in council chambers, reviewing the reports. Krath, still humiliated from his earlier defeat, spoke first. We attacked humans thinking they were weak. We were wrong. One fleet, one station, and our forces were scattered. We underestimated them. Never again. Another warlord, Zarathil, nodded. They act with patience, precision, and coordination. Attacking them first is suicide. We will avoid humans not because of treaties, but because we cannot risk their response. We have seen what happens. In the Galactic Council, Kevin Morris studied the hollow reports. Systems that had been on the brink of war were now calm, stabilized by humans who had acted only where necessary. The galaxy has learned, he said softly. Humans respond once, decisively and efficiently. No empire dares provoke them now. Alina Brooks added, humans do not boast, they do not threaten. They survive quietly, act decisively, and protect when needed. One strike, one response, and everything changes. That is why humans are never targeted. The lesson is clear. Lucas Hill smiled faintly. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries. Now they understand. Humans are not luck. They are preparation, patience, and strength hidden in plain sight. Back on the small trade station, John received a secure message from Human Command. Several hidden fleets were moving to support vulnerable colonies in nearby sectors. No large battles were necessary. Humans acted only where needed, striking once to stabilize systems and protect civilians. We are everywhere but invisible, John said quietly to Claire. The galaxy does not see us until we act, and by then it is too late for them, Claire nodded. And that is why they fear us without realizing it. Humans survive because we act with patience, strategy, and strength when necessary. One response is enough. In the outer sectors, alien fleets withdrew cautiously. Reports of disabled ships, jammed communications, and lost command centers spread fear among commanders. Even fleets that had not faced humans directly hesitated, knowing that one strike could provoke a response no one could survive. Krath sat in the brig of a reconstructed human station, his fleet in ruins and his soldiers captured or retreating. He could not believe the power humans had shown without destroying more than necessary. They survive because they are careful, precise, and patient, he muttered. And they strike only once. Attacking them first is impossible. The galaxy has learned this the hard way. John walked past him quietly. We are humans, he said simply. We survive, we protect, and we act when necessary. One response is enough to show our strength. That is all anyone needs to know. Far away, human fleets return to their hidden posts. Cargo ships, transport vessels, and colony ships resumed their civilian roles. The galaxy saw nothing unusual. Yet beneath the surface, humans were ready, patient, and prepared. They acted only when necessary, silently protecting systems, securing trade routes, and preventing chaos. Kevin Morris watched hollow reports of human activity in multiple systems. Humans survive because they are never reckless, he said to Alina and Lucas. They do not attack unnecessarily. They do not boast or threaten. They respond once and the galaxy learns the truth. That is why humans are never targeted. Alina nodded. They are careful, patient, and precise. Humans wait until the moment is right. They act decisively, ending conflicts before the enemy can react. That is the power the galaxy respects silently, even if it fears it without fully understanding. Lucas added, humans do not fight for glory, they fight to protect. And they do so efficiently, calmly, and decisively. That is why attacking humans first is impossible. They respond once, and the outcome is final. In the quiet corridors of another human command station, John coordinated fleet movements with hidden human forces. Systems that had appeared unarmed now had support ready. No one could predict when humans would act, but when they did, it was precise, effective, and final. One response, one strike, John said to his team. That is all it takes. Humans survive, humans protect, and the galaxy will never underestimate us again. Far across the galaxy, alien empires formally updated their strategies. No fleet would target human colonies directly. No warlord would risk attacking human trade routes. The story of the small trade station and the decisive human response had spread everywhere. Fleets and systems learned the same lesson. Humans act once, decisively, and efficiently. One strike is all it takes to show the galaxy why humans are never targeted. Krath, humiliated but alive, reflected on the events. He understood now. Humans do not need to fight constantly, boast about their power, or threaten empires unnecessarily. Humans survive quietly, wait patiently, and act decisively. One response is enough to show strength, enforce safety, and protect their people. Attacking humans first is a mistake no one survives to repeat. John Carter walked to the observation window, looking out at the stars. Fleets moved quietly in the distance, trade routes were secure, and colonies were safe. Humans had acted decisively when necessary, yet the galaxy saw only calm. Humans survived because they prepared, observed, and struck only when required. One response was all it took to ensure safety. Kevin Morris watched reports coming from multiple sectors. Humans are never targeted because humans survive, not by luck, not by chance, by patience, preparation, and decisive action. The galaxy has learned it. No one dares test humans again. Alina Brooks added, and that is the quiet power humans carry. They do not boast, threaten, or provoke. They wait, observe, and respond once. That is why the galaxy respects them silently and fears them without knowing why. Lucas Hill smiled faintly. Humans survive because they act decisively, protect carefully, and reveal strength only when necessary. One strike is enough to change the outcome. The galaxy now knows why humans are never targeted. Across the galaxy, alien fleets continued their withdrawal. Commanders hesitated before making decisions. Diplomats sent messages of peace. No one wanted to provoke humans again. The story of the small trade station, John Carter's leadership, and the hidden human fleets had changed the galaxy forever. John Carter returned to the command room. Reports showed stability returning to contested systems. Civilians were safe, fleets hidden, and colonies quietly thriving. Humans had acted decisively once, and the galaxy had learned the lesson. Patience, precision, and preparation had ensured survival. One response had been enough. "We survive quietly," John said to Claire Bennett. "We act decisively. We protect. One strike, one response, and the galaxy understands. Humans are never targeted because humans are ready, patient, and strong. That is all anyone needs to know." Claire nodded. "And the galaxy will never forget it." Humans have shown their strength without destroying more than necessary. One response, one strike, and everything is stable. That is why humans survive, respected and feared, without ever boasting about it. Far across the galaxy, Krath finally understood the full lesson. Humans did not need to attack constantly. They did not need to boast or threaten. They survived, protected, and responded once when necessary. Attacking humans first was a mistake no one survived to repeat. Humans acted decisively, and the galaxy now knew the truth. Kevin Morris, Alina Brooks, and Lucas Hill watched reports in silence. Humans were patient, prepared, and precise. One strike, one response, and the galaxy had learned why humans are never targeted. The lesson was clear. Humans survive because they act decisively, efficiently, and only when necessary. One response is enough. John Carter stood quietly by the observation window of the command station. Human fleets moved silently through the stars. Trade routes were secure, colonies protected, and civilians safe. The galaxy had learned the lesson humans had always known. Patience, preparation, and precision ensure survival. Humans respond once decisively and efficiently. One strike is all it takes. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Humans had acted once and the galaxy had learned the truth. They survived, they protected, and they acted with patience, precision, and quiet power. One strike, one response, and the lesson was clear. Humans are never targeted, and the galaxy would always respect and fear them silently, without knowing their full strength. The stars shone quietly over the galaxy, carrying the silent story of humans. Patience, preparation, and decisive action had ensured survival. One strike, one response, and the lesson was set. Humans had survived, and the galaxy had learned why.